Hello, welcome to Bob and Dave's Loyalty Shop. Today it's quite unusual. We have a live guest. They're normally dead, but he's alive, and his name's Tom, and he's from the Loyalty People, which is all relevant in a way. And this is Bob.
From Bob's Loyalty Shop. So,
Yeah,
Tom, he's into loyalty. Bob, I'm into loyalty.
big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all loyal people in a way.
So, Tom, tell us a
Hi.
little bit about Tom. Who's Tom?
Okay, I am Tom. I'm the managing director of a company called The Loyalty People.
That was very Diary of a CEO then,
Did you notice?
wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been watching those.
It really was. Right?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about. It's almost like counselling as well.
Yeah.
Like counselling, Tom.
You need a slightly deeper voice, speak a bit slower.
Yeah.
But you could pull that off, I think.
And the minute you start getting interesting, I'm just going to cut away to, can you please subscribe? Right, that's what I'm going to do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Right,
it is,
okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, there's no danger of me getting interested, so I think we're okay.
Oh,
there.
I'm thinking you're underplaying it. Yeah, right.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tom.
That's quite all
So,
right. No, quite all right.
you go.
MD of.
Yeah, I'm managing director of the Loyalty People. The Loyalty People are an agency focused on loyalty strategy. So we help brands to build out their loyalty or their customer engagement strategy. We've worked with loads of different brands over the last few years. Some of the notable brands we've dealt with are people like Papa John's Pizza, helped them build international business strategy. We did some business casing solutions for Decathlon Sport. We've worked with a brand called Pudge, who I'm probably not saying that right. It's a Spanish name. And they are the owners of brands like Charlotte Tilbury, Carolina Herrera, Christian Louboutin,
Wow.
many other Penhaligon and other brands like that. And we work generally with retailers, hoteliers, airlines, banks to help them build out any kind of customer engagement. So it could be full loyalty program design, it could be CRM optimization, business casing, data analytics, research, anything within that field. And we also run a community. So anybody that works in the loyalty space, they're a professional in that space, they can join our free community. They can follow us on LinkedIn or they subscribe to our email, and we send out lots of interesting stuff about the industry.
Yeah.
Latest trends, industry experts, all that sort of thing. So that is essentially what we do. And in the near future, there is potentially an opportunity to start delivering training across Europe as well. So that's who we are.
So how did you get into loyalty? Because when I looked you up on LinkedIn, it looked like your ambition was mechanical engineering.
Yeah. So I went to Loughborough University and did mechanical engineering, which is a great degree, and that was my career path. Really, I was going to be an engineer. I did a gap year at the Kodak factory. Do you remember film and old school film? So there was
Of course, he remembers that.
Yeah, of course he does. He's still using it.
Yeah.
He's got
Cool.
loads of it out the back.
Yeah.
35 mil?
Yeah, exactly. So I did a year out with those guys, and then I got a graduate engineering placement. But really, I wanted to. I'm quite a handy guy. I like to do my own DIY. I've rebuilt cars. I rebuild bikes. I'm still quite into that sort of thing, and that's where I thought I would go with engineering. But of course, when you're a graduate engineer in a big factory like that, they don't actually let you touch any of the machines.
Yeah.
It's all project management and. So then at Kodak, I took a placement in the marketing team, moved to sales, and never looked back really. What happened then? How I got away, that's how I got kind of moved away from engineering and into a more commercial role. And then after I left Kodak, I went into a business called IRI, who are a data processor. They essentially collect up all the beeps through the supermarkets. They know what everyone's shopping, and then they use that data to do analytics. And that eventually led me to Nectar. Worked for Nectar for a number of years.
Jobs.
Yeah.
So you could get an interesting job.
That's it. Yeah. Although I've got to be honest, IRI was a very interesting. It sounds like data geeky. Maybe that's me, but I really liked it there.
Yeah.
And then I was at Nectar, and then another company called Reward, who are big in card-linked offers. And we delivered CRM strategies for Amex and Royal Bank of Scotland and NatWest and a bunch of other people. And then I moved to Collinson, where you were also at Collinson.
I was,
and ran a kind of business development effort for loyalty, for their loyalty division.
Yeah. We were ships that passed.
Yes, I don't think we crossed over
No,
actually.
because that would have been too much. Me skateboarding to reception and you on your BMX bike.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. And the BMXing, yeah. So that's my career background. But
That
Yeah.
was quick. You skipped over that really quick. I want to ask a few questions.
fire away. Fire away.
When you got the job at Nectar,
Yeah.
I bet you were buzzing.
Absolutely. It was a bit of a sticky situation. Actually.
Oh, puns are coming now. But the doing up the engineering side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting. Doing up bikes, doing up cars, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's. I would have loved to have had a career in that kind of area.
Yeah.
But you went completely off.
Yeah,
It's
so
a completely
I would have
different-
I would have loved to have had a career in it, but unfortunately, like if you want to actually tinker with machines, you don't go and get a degree and get a job in a you know what I mean, because they have engineers to do that, and you're kind of doing the project management bit.
Yeah.
But I still have a passion for that, so I still
Yeah.
it drives my wife insane. I buy the odd knackered old Land Rover, and she's like, "What is that? What? Get rid of that." So I've been demoted down to bikes. But me and my son, we both mountain bike. We both. I'm still racing BMXs. I raced last night. I was awful last night.
You raced last night?
Yeah, raced last
Wow.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raced it. We had a regional in Peterborough on Sunday. I was actually quite good in Peterborough. But I
Okay,
was
so you're playing this
terrible.
down a little bit, but it's pretty serious by the sound.
Yeah, we do a bit. Yeah.
Racing BMX bikes.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. Well, if you saw me, you'd think, what is this, a slow-mo race or what?
No, but I mean that's
Yeah.
brilliant. Mate.
Yeah, we do. We do. We love it.
That's exciting as
Yeah,
well.
it's good fun. It's really good fun.
And is it the one where you go over all the bumps and
Yeah.
you jump and?
So just like, can't remember the lady's name now, but the lady that won gold medal, she used to be in the same club as me and Ted. We race in Braintree.
Right.
I'm going to get shot to bits now for not being able to remember her name.
That's all right, I'll put it in the newsletter.
Yeah, the gold medal winning.
It'll cut this
That's
bit
the one. So not freestyle with the jumps and the tricks.
Yeah.
It is where they start on the gate drops, and they shoot off, and then you go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
about
so I've got a
400
question. I've always
metres.
wanted to know this, right? I've got
Yeah.
a question. You know when you're at the gate, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever mistimed it and just landed on your face?
No, but I've seen it done.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the timing of that is quite crucial. You have to rock your body back,
Yeah.
try and anticipate the gate dropping, and then it's a massive push.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
It's like greyhound racing.
Yeah.
So
There's no rabbit.
my skateboarding career ended abruptly, right? Because me and my friend Christian, and I'm going to mention him anyway, right? Me and my friend Christian, his mum was away, and we decided to, used to live in Wimbledon, we decided to saw the legs off her coffee table.
Of course you did.
Because we'd been watching that in South Africa, how they go down the hills. And at 2 in the morning, we were at Wimbledon, top of Wimbledon Hill, on a coffee table, right? Without any protective clothing, right? Wear protective clothing, kids.
Definitely.
And I've still got the scar here where I took half my knuckle off because when there's two of you on a bobsleigh made out of a coffee table, right, going down pretty bloody quick, right? And you've got to lean in to make the corner. You suddenly realise your hand's underneath the coffee table. So yeah, I wrote it in after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big believer in mature guys such as ourselves keeping up with our.
Well, you get the adrenaline rush, don't you?
Oh,
you get the
so much.
Yeah.
and I think that's needed, isn't it? Just to keep our testosterone up because we're lacking it at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you are, Tom, but I'm in my 30s.
I can see that.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling it.
You've had a hard life. There,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that really does sound brilliant. I always wanted a BMX when I had a chopper.
Well, yeah,
when I was a kid, but
Yeah.
my mate had a BMX, and I really wanted a
So I
BMX.
saw on LinkedIn, MD of Raleigh posted yesterday. I liked it, of course. Right.
Yeah.
They reissued the chopper.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. They did a limited run or whatever, right? They sold out in 90 minutes too.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Sold out in 90 minutes. That's how much like the iconic brand of a chopper.
Yeah.
will do.
Well, and that's what's put the value of 70s choppers up. I mean, it's gone crazy at the moment, apparently.
Yeah.
A mate of mine's got a couple when they're worth $5,000 each.
Yeah, they're a fortune.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's great, but
when I was a kid, it was all about rally, and if you could afford, it would be Mongoose. Mongoose was in the BMX Bandits movie. Everyone wanted the Mongoose.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford one when I was 14.
Yeah.
Got one now. Cherry red.
Got to the grand
matte
old
black
age.
crank, matte black handlebars. It is gorgeous.
good lad.
Brilliant.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if all
The
you
dream
need
is always there, isn't it?
exactly. You just
It
need a
will always-
25-year career in loyalty,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you can get your Mongoose BMX.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
lucky because when I was 14, I had you might remember this. Well, you're only 30, so you won't. So I had a G&S Bowl Rider deck,
Oh yeah,
right, with the C70 Kryptonics.
I don't know what that means. Is that the wheel bit?
Wheels.
Right.
The red ones, right?
Okay, the red wheels.
They're really important because if you've got the green ones, they're quite hard. So if you go and hit any kind of rock, you just fly off, right? But the red ones would absorb the shock, right?
Oh, right.
And I even got into the truck so badly that I had like tracker halves at the front and tracker mid at the back for bull riding, right? And
I'm lost.
Yeah, I never really skateboarded. Did
Here's the
you?
important point. I found it the other day, and I eBayed what one was going for, and it was going for like £1,000.
Really?
And I was like, am I emotionally attached to this?
Definitely not. Am I emotionally attached to a new holiday? Yeah. I am.
Yeah, I think I might be. Would you ever get back on that skateboard, Bob?
I've got 4 of them at home.
Have you?
I used to skateboard to the office because when I worked in Fulham, you could never get a car parking space in the days when you could park.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
anywhere near. So I just went, bugger this, right? So, young account director in my 30s used to park up my feet at Coupe, right? Open the boot
And
and
skateboard?
skateboard to work, right? And then later when I was working in London, I was working as a creative director in London, just before the bombings and stuff. And because after that, everyone walked to work for a while. I used to skateboard every day from Charing Cross up to Baker Street. And
Would you be able to do it now?
yeah, I've got a longboard I could use. Longboard's much easier.
Yeah.
Um,
Would it just bow in the middle too much, though?
oh, you cheeky monkey. You cheeky monkey.
Do they do reinforced ones?
Yeah, well, yeah, Kevlar. Kevlar. Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant.
So anyway, enough about me. But
What do we think about the scooters? These young people bombing around on the
Bombing
scooters.
around on scooters.
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that, you're not supposed to use them on the road, apparently?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to have a helmet as well, aren't you? Because it's motorised. I think you legally should have a helmet.
God, the
It
helmet
depends,
stuff.
'cause
Do you wear helmets when you do the BMX?
God, yeah, that full
Oh, yeah,
face
because you
helmet.
would actually
Yeah,
really
yeah.
smash your
Yeah,
head
yeah,
in.
yeah.
You would, yeah.
Yeah. But if you're just toodling down, say you're a cyclist, which I'm not, but say you are, and you're toodling down a little country lane
Yeah.
where there's no cars, whatever,
Yeah.
you wouldn't wear a helmet, would you?
I do.
I think you would.
Yeah, I
Would
do.
you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So
The freedom, though. It reminds me of the
Feel the
back
wind
in
in
the
your hair.
60s with the Harley Davidsons in America
Yeah.
where they just potter along and they've got no helmets, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's a law in America, is it? But
I don't think it is.
I think if it's motorised, it's legal. You have to,
Yeah.
and that's why I think
It's
these
fast.
electronic ones they don't, and that technically isn't right.
Mm.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're a copper, try and catch one of those guys.
Well, yeah, lightning.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're quick.
yeah.
But, yeah.
So last month, for reasons that will take up too much time, I took my CBT test for motorbike. So it's the first test that you do.
We touched on this last time.
We did, yeah.
Brilliant, because you're going to go to Italy.
I'm going to go to Italy. Yeah.
And-
to carry my wife pillion, I've got to have a full bike license.
And you're going to hire
Didn't
a
fancy a
Lambretta?
sidecar.
I didn't think of it.
Sidecar.
Didn't
Put the
think
missus in
about
a sidecar.
That's where we put the dog. Right? So,
Okay.
it's like, yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah, he gets the priority seat.
Of course.
yeah, yeah.
So-
He's
so
more important.
What was amazing to me is I turned up to this test centre, right, and the driving instructor was a bit of a growly driving instructor, right, and then these other 3 guys turned up, and I mean, I haven't been on a bike for 35 years, right, you know,
Yeah.
and my balance was all over the shop and whatever, and these guys were Deliveroo drivers, or were that equivalent, right?
Oh,
That
zipping around.
That were renewing, so they've been on a bike for like 2 years at least to regularly renew, right? One guy said, "Sorry, I'm late. I crashed on the way here."
No.
Absolutely true, right? The other two, given that they'd passed like 2 years ago, right, were still a little bit shaky on the road signs, right? Okay. And then if I thought my balance was bad, right, I was like, and they brought their own bikes, right? I'm like thinking, oh, okay, right. But I didn't read the instructions, right? So you do the first half day in the car park, right? You do 2 hours. As it turned out, I ended up doing 3 because he was being mocked by a driving instructor to think he was a great driver. They said, we're going out on the road now, right, in rush hour in South East London, right?
Yeah,
and
fine.
I'm like, oh my God, right? I was so pleased I had a crash helmet on, to your point,
Yeah.
right? But the other thing is, you don't think about it, right? If you have a crash on a bike, a skateboard, you know, a BMX, whatever, right? Instinctively, the first thing you're going to do, right, is you're going to put your hands up.
Hands out, yeah.
If you haven't got gloves on, right,
Take the skin off. Yeah.
they go down to the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down to the bone.
Yeah, so safety.
You had gloves on, right, riding a motorbike?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say.
You have to turn up with the right boots, and the
Yeah,
right
of
jacket,
course,
and you know, and yeah, that was.
I'd be a fair weather rider though. I don't think I wouldn't go out in the heat or the rain.
Yeah,
I'll just,
which leaves fog,
Yeah, I was gonna say. A couple of days in May then.
Fog.
ice.
Ice.
Always good on a bike.
Yeah.
Always good on a bike.
So you're getting on well. You're doing it.
Yeah, and I took my theory the other day, and I passed first time. It was, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
So are
well
you
done.
buying a bike, or are you just going to use this when you're out in Italy?
I'm going to get a bike out in Italy.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't. Do you know what? I personally think it's too dangerous in London. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
if. It's not if. It's when.
Yeah.
It'd be nice just to poodle around Italy, wouldn't it? Yeah, around the coast roads and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Tom, do you do any training for BMX riding? Do you
Yeah,
do any
well-
physical training.
Yeah, so my son trains on a Saturday. When he moves up to the next group, I'll be able to train with him. But what I tend to do is, while he's training, I just use the bits of the track that he's not that the club is not using,
Right.
because they'll normally focus on the rollers or they'll focus on the jumps, whatever, and I'll use the other bit.
Yeah.
But I do go out on my mountain bike twice a week, so I'm bike fit.
What?
Yeah.
In mountains or in Braintree?
The mountains of Essex.
There's no brain-
Yeah,
there's
the
no
mountains
mountains.
of Essex.
Yeah.
There's a bit around, like there's lots of country paths and things like that. I'm live out quite rural, so
Oh, good.
so there's plenty of places just to go around with your mates.
Yeah.
And then cycle for a few hours and then go to the pub, get a burger.
Gareth got a mountain bike and it had a little battery on it.
Oh yeah,
So it helps him out. Lazy.
yeah, that is lazy. Yeah. There are a few in my group. Some of the older guys do have electric. We'll let them off.
If
'cause
they're old, it depends what age.
55, 60,
Too young.
you think?
Yeah. 70s, 80s, yeah.
No, if you
Come on. I mean, that is...
Yeah, if you're doing the rough stuff though, you
I suppose
pelting
it-
through the woods and stuff. It's good if you can just keep going.
Yeah.
I think some of the guys they're sort of saying, well, if I was on my normal bike, I wouldn't be able to keep up with you guys,
Yeah.
and now I can.
Yeah.
So it just keeps
Good
me
point.
coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
But the price of them, my God,
What, the electric one?
yeah,
2, 3, 5 grand?
17 grand.
What?
Yeah,
For electric
serious.
bike?
Yeah. I mean, you can get them. You can get them, like you say, for 3-4 grand.
Oh.
But there's a Specialized and also Santa Cruz. They've just bought out their newest one, and they are like upper teens.
Oh, is that the one Arnold Schwarzenegger's got?
Possibly.
'Cause I want
Dunno.
one like that. Have you
What's
seen
he
it?
got?
No.
I know he's old and everything now, but he still works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a monster. But he's got this bike with really fat wheels.
Yeah.
It's sort of semi-electric, and
Yeah.
he does a bit of pedaling, and he cruises down
Yeah.
Muscle Beach.
So
And
yeah, you
everything,
can, so we haven't got those here. So they're like a motorbike. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
I've
literally
seen them.
give it
Yeah.
one of them and it will just go.
Yeah.
Whereas the electric bikes we have here, it's assisted. But if
Oh.
you stop pedaling, it won't drive. It won't drive along on its own.
Oh, right, okay.
It boosts your performance by about 25%.
Right.
So if you're getting a bit tired or you're a bit older,
It
it can
helps.
keep you going.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. But yeah, it's.
Do they make electric skateboards? Because Bob could
They
be
do.
up for that.
They do.
Do they?
Because
I
your
can think
little
of-
leg.
I can think of
You know when you
nothing.
do your little leg.
I can think of nothing worse.
I mean, that
Does it
would
have
ache.
like its
It's got
own
a
leg
remote- no, it's
that
got a
comes
remote-
round
no,
like
it's
that?
got- it's got a motor and a remote control around. I can think of nothing like that. Because like, at least when you're doing it, right, you're sort of in control of your speed, right? It's like, if you're doing that, right, you're just going to start looking at your iPhone.
Yeah.
Taking
It's too
your
easy.
iPhone. Yeah, it's too easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy. But I'm interested about all the electric stuff because when we spoke, and I told you where the secret location is, right? You got a bit of range anxiety because you've got an electric car. Right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what? So I was on 96% when I left the house.
Yeah.
And I'm now on 55. So it's pretty tight. So to get back.
Did
is-
you clock where the charges are on the way?
Yeah, there are actually quite a lot of charges all over the place. The problem is, so I'll give you an example. We went to Peterborough for this BMX race on Sunday.
Yeah.
Driving back, so about halfway is Cambridge services, and we might, a similar situation, I might have got back, but I might not.
Yeah.
So we swung into Cambridge services. They have 6 chargers. One was out of order, obviously, because
Yeah.
it's Britain.
Yeah.
And there were the other 5 were full and 2 people waiting.
Ooh.
So it's not a quick splash and dash. You're there an hour.
Yeah.
You know, you might
Before
be
you
there.
even get on one.
Well,
Or-
we didn't need too much charge, so we were there about an hour, waited 40 minutes, just a quick splash, and then we're off again.
Right.
But yeah, it's not a, you know, you've got to plan it
quick and
into your journey.
Yeah.
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 And how
Yeah,
do you-
because you don't account for the fact that they're going to be, the charges are going to be
Exactly.
being used.
And it'll show you on the app, but also you just sort of think, well, shall I stop here and wait, or shall I risk it to the next one? But then they might all be full anyway, so it's just a bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
But it's not quite the same experience.
Yeah, and how long have you owned the...
Since November, I think I got it in November or October.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
so quite
Nearly
a long time.
Yeah.
So what was
yeah.
the
You got
desire
used to
driven
it.
by? Was it the engineering part of it, or was it
Corporate car tax. It's really cheap on them.
Yeah,
the...
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I think it's like 1 or 2%. So the corporate car tax is like nothing.
yeah,
So just lease it through the business. It's a really good deal.
of course it is.
Yeah. And you think
That's-
about it, like, I very rarely drive that far.
Yeah.
So it's only really the BMX regionals. The furthest one from my house is Norwich.
Yeah.
So it's only 5 or 6 times a year while I'll actually drive the car further than the range.
Yeah.
Normally I'm just drama club, tennis club, BMX club, shops.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
within 10 miles of the house normally. It's just very occasionally on some of the longer trips to the regionals. That's pretty much the only time that it's a problem.
Good. What is it?
It's a Volvo C40. It's all right actually. It's
Is that-
okay.
That's because they make the Polestar as well, don't they?
Is that Volvo that makes the
I
Polestar?
think it might
Is it?
be.
Yeah.
Might be. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, that's the bit sportier one.
it
Isn't
looks
it?
quite
Yeah.
nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks,
I think the electric cars do look good.
yeah.
Um,
I think the BMWs look well. I
Yeah.
like the Porsche. The Porsche. What's it called? Cayman? No,
yeah, but you must have one of those, surely.
I've got a
Several.
couple of those.
Several.
One of those, yeah. One in
I
each
use the
colour.
red one on a Friday.
Perfect,
and
yeah,
the,
it makes
the
sense.
Black ones during the week.
Yeah.
But,
And then you just use the electric skateboard.
electric
the rest of the
skateboard.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm waiting for one of the hover skateboards. To come
Oh.
out, like Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Well, that should
Yeah.
be. What year was that? They were predicting that. What year was that?
2015.
2015 was
Yeah.
it?
So they're out already.
Yeah.
Why haven't they?
Well, I haven't
It's
seen
been out
them.
8 years.
Why? Why haven't I
yeah.
seen
Do I
them
need to
around?
get down to Argos? That's where you'd get them.
No, they blacklisted them.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Too dangerous.
Too dangerous, yeah.
Well, do you remember when those things that the kids used to stand on?
Oh,
two
they used to
wheels?
catch fire.
They,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
what were they
Yeah.
called? Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of
Wheelies
accidents.
or something. Or they were shoes.
A lot of
Oh, yeah,
accidents.
Heelys with the shoes.
Wheelies
weren't
with
they?
the
Yeah.
shoes.
But you didn't get one of those, Bob.
No, but I'm thinking the way this conversation is going, we're going to get a slot on Dave anytime shortly.
Well, we weren't going to talk about the electric car situation, were we?
Uh,
Seriously, about the footprint, the carbon footprint.
no,
and
because it's not that kind of show.
it's not that kind of.
No.
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 I mean, the 4 listeners we've got, just not interested. when you've only got like 4 listeners, right, it's really
Have
easy.
we got 4? Have we got that many?
Well,
Oh,
I'm
we-
here, so
oh.
it's only 3 now.
There's
Oh, was
well, no, there's us 3. There's one.
Yeah,
There's one somewhere, and that's his mum.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh, well,
Well, if we just slight diversion, we could flip this back to loyalty for Volvo, because Volvo
Yes.
are actually doing quite an interesting thing.
I love
from
the
a
way you did that,
loyalty.
Tom.
Such an
Brought it
inspiring
back.
guest.
Like
Such an
a pro,
inspiring guest.
right?
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very
You can
professional.
tell he's done podcasts before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Volvo are doing an interesting thing where basically, and I've done this, you subscribe to a car. See, I don't own the car. I didn't even test drive the car. I went online. I looked at all the ones that were available. I picked the colour, and then in about 3 weeks, it was delivered.
Did they do them in pink?
I tried. They were. I'm in Essex, so they were all
That's my
gone.
house.
All the pink ones.
All the
were
pink
gone.
ones are gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just had to
Because
go
of
for
the Barbie
boring
movie,
silver.
right?
But I am going to
Yeah.
detail it in lime green.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
beautiful.
so. With the lights underneath.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this is a very unusual. This is a new thing. I think Volvo were the first, but they are moving it away from kind of a outright purchase or a hire purchase, or where you own the vehicle or eventually own the vehicle.
Yeah.
They're saying you never own the vehicle. You're essentially just subscribing to a rental policy,
Right.
and if anything goes wrong with the car, just send it back. Yeah.
Shocking thing for me was, we talked about this briefly off camera the other time. Rory, the guy that does the one of the car interviews, he used to be on Top Gear. He did a piece the other week, and he said that the average price of a car in the UK at the moment is £38,000.
Wow.
And that was for a Vauxhall Astra.
Wow.
Now, given our
Rip
kind
off
of
Britain.
where we've come from, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Could you ever have managed even paying for a GT back in the 80s, anything like that? Just wouldn't have done it.
No.
Just wouldn't have done it.
It's gone crazy, isn't it?
But they just make it more easy to buy, don't they? Different HP agreements. So get it over 4 years, and then you'll owe half, and then do it another 4 years, or subscribe
Balloon
to it, or exactly.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
make it easier and easier for you to loan more and more money.
Absolutely.
Well, my purchasing decision was absolutely easy because I just based it on which one was easier to get the dog in the back of. Right, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a Clubman because both the doors open, you jump straight in. To show
Yeah.
Actually, it's his car. It's not
Yeah.
my car. A little while ago, we announced that we are going to start our own loyalty awards.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Excited
gonna
to
be
hear more.
cool. Yeah, so it's going to be called We Will Be the Judge of That.
Okay.
Right. And our view is that, it's great getting an award, Haven't had one since 2015, bit of a drought, but there you go. But, still publicise it as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nationwide Building Society Gold.
Are they still going?
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Yeah. So given it's award season and everyone's going crazy for awards and stuff, what we thought we'd do is we would wait until all the award seasons are over, and then we would appeal to two categories, right? We will trawl and go and look at who have won the best ones and kind of give our view.
Okay.
And then we'll have a category called We've Been Robbed.
Okay.
Right? So anyone that's listening out there, the one viewer that we have, right? If you entered awards this year, right, and you thought you were robbed and you didn't get what you justly deserved, right, then all you got to do is subscribe to Bob and Dave's Loyalty channel. That's the first thing you got to do. And just DM us the campaign. So there's no forms to fill out. There's no, give us the confidential nature of the business and the numbers and all that kind of stuff. But it's just if you think you were robbed, right, and that you should have won something, right, then here's your second bite of the cherry. And even more, right, you don't have to pay to enter.
Excellent.
Right. And if nobody writes in for the We've Been Robbed section, then I shall write some of my own stories about how I feel I've been robbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But won't conspiracy come in there, Bob? Won't there be a few conspiracy theories?
I hope so.
People will go,
I hope so. Anyone wants to give the inside scoop on what they think in terms of, judging and whatever.
yeah.
But this week, actually, I did some judging. I was the judge on the Dragons of Asia Awards. And obviously you can't reveal the things, but one thing I can say generally is some of the categories I was judging was from the charity sector. And boy, oh boy, was I blown away by the creativity.
Oh, really?
I mean, absolutely. And I was like sitting there thinking to myself, if the others can see what the charity sector are doing, right, you need to put yourself...
From a loyalty point of view, or just generally?
Just strategy, concept, execution, right, and then the results. I mean, the results you always look at because sometimes clients don't want to give you the results that's in percentage terms, right? Sometimes they do, and as a judge you're bound, you can't reveal them, right? And sometimes, there is a part of you that goes, are they a little bit inflated, and all the other bits and pieces. But when you get an entry, and I'm sure you've judged a few awards in your time, when you get an entry, right, which starts off with a great strategy, and you go, yeah, that's spot on, right?
Yeah.
And then it develops into a concept that isn't watered down, right? And then it goes into an area where you see the execution, and you go, right, these boys are good. These boys are good. They've managed to, because you've got to bring the client with you. Many a time we've all pitched a really good idea, and it's been watered down for very, And then actually, before you even get to results, they're going to knock it out of the park because we've been doing this long enough, right? And you kind of get it. So I was kind of blown away by the creativity, which leads to another subject which wasn't on the list, by the way. My personal gripe about the loyalty industry.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of them have got a creative director. Very few of them have got a creative department. Very few of them take creative seriously, right? So if you go back 20 years, right? 20 years ago, we used to spend a lot of time talking about technology, a lot of time talking about the name of the program, right? And, how many times have you heard a program that's called Smiles? Right? That sort of thing, right? And that's about the extent of it. And then I remember being in meetings going, well, what are the rewards going to be, right? And they go, oh, we've got a budget over here, we'll buy something. Right? So that's my. I don't know how you feel about it. So I'm interested to find out.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you're right. In the past, I think loyalty has been a separate department from marketing, and for me, loyalty is the sciencey bit of marketing, whereas the brand bit is the kind of creative bit. And I think a lot of businesses have kept those quite separate. But if you look at how it's evolving now, whereas you might have had a marketing director or a CMO in a business, those roles, those senior roles, are now being called things like customer experience director or something like that. And I think businesses have realised that the two things have to come together. And I actually think that what the pandemic did, one positive that came out of the pandemic, especially for the loyalty industry, is that people realised that when people just were at home and they just reverted to the brands they knew. So loyalty became really important because it was very expensive to acquire. It was impossible to acquire. So you had to make as much more money as you could out of your existing base.
Yeah.
So suddenly your loyalty program, rather than this thing that some lad at the back of the office managed off the edge of his desk, suddenly it became a real revenue stream for the business because you just had to milk your existing base really hard.
Yeah.
And now I think this change was happening before the pandemic as well, but I think it started to accelerate it. And I think what's happening now is businesses are looking at this and saying, actually, customer loyalty has to be right at the centre of our marketing push and our sales push, really. And actually, when they bring it to the centre of their business, they will then have a creative that leans in on loyalty as well. And I think the other thing on that, actually thinking about it, is that you must not clash your messages.
So what's your big thing at the moment that you're kind of passionate about in loyalty?
I'm watching this whole AI thing. We've done some polls to our community recently about AI, and it's quite interesting. AI has been used in loyalty for 35 years from the point of view of a machine learning type of AI that crunches numbers. You think about Nectar. We talked about Nectar getting into this sticky situation again.
Yeah.
But if you think about the way they work, they are collecting 1 billion transactions a day. Every single item that every single person buys goes into that database, and that's analysed, and they use that to trigger against things. So they might say, oh, you used to buy Marmite, but you haven't bought Marmite anymore. Why is that? Or you used to buy health and beauty products, but you've stopped. You're still shopping with us.
Yeah, you've let yourself go.
Yeah, you've let yourself go, or you've switched to Superdrug. So they'll all these triggers and things. They're looking for.
Well, and it
for
also
these things
kicks
in the
out a little
data.
voucher to give you a discount on that product that you haven't bought for a while.
Exactly, and that is all happening in real time.
Yeah.
And it's driven by AI. So a machine learning type of AI that's been in place for 35 years. So when we ask the question, should AI be used in loyalty? Well, it already is. Where I think it shouldn't be used, and the community seems to agree marginally. I think it was 55 no to 45 yes. We're saying, should AI be used for customer care? And I think it's kind of no, not yet. It's not yet. No. So what happens now is I like to speak to people. If I have a problem with my bank or my car or whatever, I just want to ring someone and speak to them. But a lot of people want to go on a chatbot, but I think as soon as you get something that's slightly off-piste, the chatbot fails. Yeah. So if I phone up Volvo, I'll go on the chatbot and say, how big is the boot? They'll go, oh, it's 2,500 litres. And I go, okay, well, I don't really understand what it means, but whatever, it sounds pretty big. Yeah. Whereas if I email the chatbot and say, can I get 2 BMXs in the back of my Volvo? No clue. No idea. And that's when you need to actually speak to somebody.
A human. Yeah.
So for me, I think AI is becoming massive. Those tools are great, but it feels a bit of a gimmick in terms of the customer care angle. And I'm not sure. A lot of people are saying that AI will be able to do that, and maybe it will in the future. But that's where I think it's limited. So from a data analytics and a data gathering. So we were talking like the phones listening to you and stuff like that. So there are other data, not just the things that you buy, but also the things that you do. So the interactions with social media, the interactions with the brand. So if you do call customer service, and if any interaction that you have with the brand, or any social media hobbies, pictures you put online. If you put online a picture of your dog,
Yeah.
then a company could say, "Oh, Bob's got a dog."
Which I often do.
Right.
It's all registered, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all picked
So,
up.
exactly. Now AI can collect all that information and start
Yeah.
building a profile of Bob, dog owner,
Yeah.
skateboarder,
Yeah.
wants a hoverboard,
Impression
etc.
area. Yeah.
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 So then an
Podcast
AI
host,
can do that
celebrity.
bit, but I think it's limited on the customer care bit.
Fat bloke.
Yeah, I mean,
Podcast.
going back to old school again,
Yeah.
this is just me.
Yeah.
I love picking up the phone and talking to people.
Oh, I do.
Because those bots, they're great. You spend a lot of time answering the bots' questions, and then you get to the end, and you've been on it for 5 or 10 minutes, and it's like, oh no, I can't.
Computer
answer.
says- computer
So you've got
says
to phone
no.
someone
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so that
that's
brings me to my next
yeah,
bugbear.
that's
My next
point, yeah.
bugbear, right? Go on any website today, don't care what it is, right? It could be, your mobile phone provider, it could be your bank, it could be whatever. You try and find a phone number to call,
Oh,
Oh,
horrendous.
no.
right?
They
I
don't
know.
want you
And
to,
then they
do
call
they?
it customer service.
They don't want you to phone them. Yeah.
Aye.
I work with a client in India. The stuff they do through WhatsApp, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. But the promotional stuff they do through WhatsApp and the scanning and whatever, I mean, obviously technology in India is, way ahead of stuff. It's so much further forward, and the thinking is so much. So for me, I see this as an exciting moment because traditional loyalty, we've got creativity that needs to come in, right? We need to cross-pollinate so they do promotional stuff. We've got Jeremy Stern, who owns Prima Veritas. He's coming on the show next week. And one of the reasons why I wanted him to come on the show is because so many times I see people going, oh, we'll do a competition or we'll do a, whatever, as a kind of piece of content for loyalty. And not all of them appreciate that they could do so much more, right? And although, Prima Veritas is very much about compliance, all the other bits and pieces, it's kind of like working with people like that to bring in that skill into your business so that people can be more creative. Because creativity is not just about the strap line, what it looks like, it's about the mechanics and it's about the user journey, right? And all the other bits and pieces. So communication is just going to get more and more important because, to your point, we're kind of in this place at the moment where your average loyalty marketing manager on a program would love to have more dialogue with people, but they've got 4 slots a year, and that's it. And we've got to break out of this mentality of doing that.
Yeah, that is true.
What do the Indians do with WhatsApp that we don't do?
They do all sorts of promotional, from a technology point of view. So, for instance, it's more common that when you take part into a competition or a promotion or whatever it might be, that you'll be quite happy for people to contact you via WhatsApp, right? So for instance, in India, it's very much more kind of like everything's more digital. So everything from like the way you pay in terms of wallets rather than a bank account, and in terms of all this kind of stuff, right? And then when you go into a supermarket in India, because I went there for the first time last November, went to Bangalore, amazing place, right? When you go into a supermarket, everything's on special offer, right? So it's like, they really have to fight hard. But you play to your audience, right? So if you've got, like India, millions and millions and millions of people, which the majority have got a phone, but they, and they do everything on the phone and all the other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Then you can use those tools to your advantage. So, Tom, if you could pitch for any loyalty program, what would you pitch for?
Good question. So, a big Avios fan.
Yep.
Been collecting Avios forever.
Yeah.
I love the value of Avios. I love the simplicity of collecting Avios. And I'll save up all my Avios and I'll use that for a holiday, part pay or fully pay for a holiday, depending on where we're going.
Right.
And that for me is a really good way of keeping me loyal to British Airways and to Avios and to Amex, which I use to collect as many points as I can.
Tom, excuse me, for our viewer that doesn't know what Avios is,
So
what
Avios,
does Avios stand for? What's it?
Oh, I don't know what it's I don't know if it is an abbreviation of something, or an acronym. I think it's just a name that they came up with. But Avios is essentially British Airways Air Miles.
Right.
But it also there's within the Avios group there's a few other airlines, and I can't remember who they are. Aer Lingus maybe is in there.
Right.
Is it? I can't remember.
Right.
There's a few other brands that you can collect Avios with.
So
Yeah.
you
It's
love
predominantly British
So
Airways.
And Avios is at most places. Like if you go shopping in,
So you can
Waitrose.
you can swap your Nectar points for Avios now.
Can you?
Yeah, so that's been a couple of years. I've had an agreement now.
Ah.
You can switch them back and forth, Avios to Nectar.
Right.
The best way to collect them is through flying British Airways.
Yeah.
Or booking a British Airways holiday. Or I've got an Amex, so all my spend on on the Amex collects me points.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So collect as many points as I can, and then January sales, holiday sales, go on the British Airways website, book a holiday, use as many points as you can to get the price down. I would like to help them with their customer journey aspect.
Okay.
Because that bit, the customer journey, is massively valuable to loyalty, to capturing someone's
completely
loyalty.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got, if you've just got a retailer or a hotel or a restaurant, somewhere where it just totally meets your expectation and it's a really nice engagement,
Yeah.
then that will drive its own loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think it's the other way round a little bit with British Airways. It's the values there, the ease of collection, all those bits are there. They've got that bang on.
But British Airways have never let you down.
No, they're a good brand.
Always been.
They're a really good brand. Really enjoy flying with them.
Yeah.
Really enjoy collecting the points, etc.
Yeah.
Most important question that we like to always end on is, so you've been following our fantastic
Yeah.
industry podcast. You're obviously a veteran of other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you won't offend us. What are your thoughts?
I think it's great. I mean, what I would say is it's quite hot in this room, Bob. You might want to get an air conditioner in here.
No, Bob deliberately turns the
Turn it
heat.
up.
Does he?
Turn it
Yeah,
up,
because
Right.
he wants people to sweat.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He's
Well, it's
trying to get
working.
into- yeah.
Yeah, we're building towards our own version of Naked Attraction.
Yeah.
Count me out.
Yeah.
Slash sauna. Bob's
Yeah.
sauna.
Yeah.
Naked attraction.
But no, I think it's a really good idea. I think it's great to, this is a serious topic. This is
Yeah.
people's professions and careers that we're engaging with, and we're talking about big brands that are doing very well or not in the marketplace, maybe. But I also think that we don't need to be super serious about things.
No.
Yeah.
We can have a little bit of a laugh,
Oh.
look at the kind
I
of.
thought we were being serious.
Yeah,
I've been told.
Got it. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So no, I think it's great, and I think the following is growing. From what you're
Yeah,
telling
it
me,
is. Yeah, it
it's really going well. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where we're very lucky in the fact that we are attracting 99% of people from the industry
Yeah,
to
good.
subscribe.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's funny. I look down a list and I go, "Oh, I never thought you had a sense of humour."
Not naming names.
No, not naming
There's
names.
no.
No.
What, that one from the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have one or two super fans, which is quite good. We have
Good.
a few super fans that regularly sort of say, "So what's coming up, Bob?" and all that kind of
Nice.
stuff. And,
Yeah,
and
that's
as you can testify to, we do kind of make this up on the spot.
And did you draw up the contract that Tom's got to sign before he leaves? If he does get... If the pitch works for
For Avios.
Avios,
Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll
Yeah.
bring you in.
percentage.
Yeah.
I'll bring you in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tom, unless you have any questions for us,
No, I don't think so. No, it's
Okay.
been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on,
thank you
guys.
for coming on the show.
Cheers. Nice to meet you. It's good.
That's it. Relax. We're done.